Hey you guys, it's your boy Davion. Welcome to another episode of Conscious Television. You guys already know what we're here to talk about. This is a highly requested video. Make sure you guys comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. You guys know that you can donate to the show at PayPal at paypal.me/ConsciouzTV, or you can cash at me at $ConsciouzTV. All information will be in the description box below as well as the bottom of the screen. Let's get into this video. I am really behind on time. This video is being recorded on a Sunday. You guys probably won't see it up until Monday morning or sometime, but I've been thinking today is Monday rather than Sunday. But on my community feed, I asked you guys what you wanted me to speak about, and the popular vote was the Jussie Smollett situation. Now, before we even get into this video, I'm going to say I'm not yet at a place where I'm ready to read Jussie Smollett, but I'll explain that a little bit more in the video. We're going to just talk about what the recent developments are and what they could mean, and then I'll tell you guys why I'm not reading Jussie Smollett right now. Now, you guys may be asking, where did I also get my Hello Kitty shirt from? I believe that I got this from a Goodwill like 2 years ago. I do some thrift shopping like once every 3 months because sometimes the thrift store has like really unique shit that you're just not gonna find in like mainstream stores and outlets. So I like going there to shop for weird shit, unique shit that's different. And I believe the shirt costed me all of a fucking $1, but Hello Kitty. I also want to kick somebody's ass because you guys encouraged me to get a Cash App, and I did. And I also ordered a Cash App card. So how about I've been trying to go to Burger King with this motherfucker, Family Dollar with this motherfucker, and just use this motherfucker anywhere that I would normally use my regular debit card, and I have been declined and rejected all over the United States. I took to my Facebook and said, why the hell is my cash card not motherfucking working? Because I did activate it and all of that, and people gave me every fucking explanation in that comment section other than the one that actually made a fucking difference. I had to get on YouTube and discover that you have to also enable the card from inside of the Cash App itself. If any of you guys are as new to Cash App as I am, you do have to go into your actual Cash App on your phone and you have to enable the card from inside the fucking app. This will allow you to use it, to swipe it, to use the chip on it, to make transactions and fucking purchases. So let's get into some of the recent developments. So obviously there's also still a lot of rumors going on around, a lot of speculation about Jussie being out looking for trade. I don't know what versatile or bottom goes out at 2 a.m. to Subway to get a fish sandwich while looking for dick at -4 fucking degree weather. Unless Jussie was interested in scatting a nigga's penis, I'm not really sure that the circumstances really even make motherfucking sense. And no, that was not your phone, that was my phone in the background. Don't you click the fuck off this video, okay? But the recent developments actually debunks those accusations. As the investigation has been going on since the initial incident, things have become more subjective, more weird, which leads to a lot more speculation and the credibility of Jussie's account. Now, recently, Jussie Smollett sat down with Robin Roberts of ABC News to give his first interview since this alleged hate crime. And I watched the entirety of the interview and I found some things rather interesting. Now, as a introverted person with extroverted tendencies, this naturally makes me more of a observant person. I am a bit of a student of psychology. I'm kind of studied in body language and so forth. And there were some bits of posture and some bits of facial expressions that kind of threw me off during this entire interview. There was questions that Robin asked that warranted Jussie to smile, which was really kind of off-putting to me. Typically when you see people committing to emotions of sadness or grief, and then they start smiling as they're talking, or they start smiling as a result of a question that you ask, it's either indicative of anxiousness, nervousness, and anxiety, or just downright a motherfucker might be a bit insincere. Maybe he's nervous just because he's a victim, or maybe he's just not telling the goddamn truth. And truth has a way of seeping through our body language and our pores, no matter how committed to lying and being full of shit we actually really are. So all of the above could be the motherfucking case. Just pick your choice of A, B, C, or fucking D. Jussie was visibly angry and upset that the public just didn't buy into what he was saying, simply because what he was saying should have been enough and should have been all that the public needed. Now that would be true if, Jussie, you had not gotten the police involved. See, if this was a personal experience you were recounting to us a year later, like, you know what, 6 months ago, I got harassed by some men on the street. We had a bit of a fist fight. They called me faggot and nigga and all these different types of things. And I know what it's like to experience a hate crime. Or had you on your own in a interview at some point just openly spoke about this incident and had not got the police involved, your truth would have been enough. But seeing that you got police involved and investigators involved, no sir, your fucking truth is not simply enough. Your truth should be a part of a package that also includes the fucking facts. And some of your reluctancy, some of your apprehension, some of the way you have dealt with assisting or a lack of assisting investigators has been really off-putting. And personally, I wanted to wait until more happened before I could get into speaking this. Now that more is coming out, now that you have spoken out, now that we have a fuller picture, even though this is still not the complete picture, it is fuller than the initial picture that you painted. There's a bit more color and a bit more details. Now we can speak more to some of what's happening. I think the way that you moved was just not in the best interest of you trying to facilitate a investigation. Now, I spoke in my initial video and said I completely understood why Jussie did not want to hand over his phone. He's a celebrity. All type of personal information and numbers and text threads and images and videos and so forth in his phone like every fucking body else. However, the context is you're handing your phone over to the police, not to TMZ, not to Media Takeout, not to the Shade Room, bitch, but to fucking police, okay? And I highly doubt that the police would breach your personal rights and privacy and integrity by releasing your public phone records. And I'm sure that there would not have, and I'm sure that there would have been discussions around anything that the police would have wanted to make public if it would have helped with investigation, but would have first brought those things to you so that you could give them permission to do so. So while I do understand the fear and the apprehension around handing your phone over because you wanted to protect your personal things and the people who you have personal information about in that phone, in this context where your life was threatened, you were fucking beat, bruised, battered, and practically left for fucking dead, and you chose to get the police involved, you cannot get the law involved and then basically meet the law partially or be fragmented in the way that you work alongside the law, bitch. Like, if you're going to get 911 involved, you have to let 911 handle your shit. And I completely agree with the police releasing a statement saying that while they cannot prove that the redacted PDF copy of Jussie's phone records have been edited or photoshopped or tampered with in any kind of way, that the simple fact that the police themselves were not able to retrieve this information, but Jussie took it upon himself to give them a very redacted and edited phone record, is a breach of integrity of the evidence in and of itself. It's like when you come into a crime scene and investigators say don't touch anything. Don't touch anything. If you call the police and say there's been a murder, they'll tell you, okay, stay where you are, etc., 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 and do not touch anything, because they want to dust for fingerprints. They want to take blood samples. They want the space in the situation to be as untampered with and left in its state in which the crime happened in, because that will help them to extrapolate as much information and data from that scene, from that situation as possible. Yes, they have every fucking right to say, because you gave this to us and we did not send our own investigators out to retrieve this information because you didn't give us permission to, we have to reasonably assume that these records could be insincere. And in an investigation, the law needs objective authority over all areas of the investigation, because they have their own processes and standards of legitimizing information and data. I also don't understand, if you had that much information on your phone, why you could not have went and downloaded all the information that you didn't want them to have from off of your phone, so that if you had to give them your physical phone for a matter of 2 or 3 hours, you didn't have to worry about the pictures that were in it. You didn't have to worry about the videos that were in it. You didn't have to worry about the goddamn text messages that were in it. And you could have just given them the phone without those things in your phone. They still would have been able to retrieve your fucking phone records, etc. And mind you, the police don't need your phone records to get Taraji's number, or to get any of the celebrities' phone numbers, or to get your spouse's phone number, because Jussie said he also had his spouse's phone number, his partner's phone number. So what? What the fuck does police want with your spouse's phone number, okay? And mind you, let's just say, God forbid, your phone record got leaked and your phone number was out there. Everybody's phone numbers are out there. Phone numbers are changeable. And that would seem to be a small price to pay, me taking the risk of giving the police my phone, because the hope can be that they can actually find the people that tried to do God knows what to me, definitely bring harm to me, over the small chance that my information might leak. Like, those things are really disproportionate. Like, my life and bringing my abusers to justice is far more important than me preserving my phone records just because I don't want other people's phone numbers out there, or I don't want music that people are barely even listening to leak out. Like, it just doesn't make proportionate sense. It just seems almost like a fucking false equivalency. Like, you got your ass whooped and stomped according to you, and you had damn near anthrax and bleach poured over you, and it means more to protect your phone records and phone numbers and music files over giving investigators everything they need to help assist you in being safe and having justice brought to you. Like, I'm just fucking confused. Like, I'm just, that shit is like bothering the living dog shit out of me. However, let's move along. So now we know that there have been suspects that have been brought in for questioning, and motherfucker, the gag is the 2 Nigerian brothers who have been brought in for questioning, who supposedly, allegedly, were the guys caught on surveillance footage of that surveillance still that police released, are men who know Jussie personally. One was a personal trainer for Jussie who helped him to get in shape for a music video that Jussie had, and the other was a fucking extra on season 2 of Empire who played a convict in prison. And there are pictures of these Nigerian brothers and Lee Daniels. There are pictures of them on set. And they also have lived in the same apartment fucking building. The Nigerian brothers told police that Smollett actually paid them to participate in this staged crime. And that Jussie Smollett also paid for the noose that they used during the stage attack. Now, police got a warrant and ravaged through the Nigerian brothers' apartments, where they did find a receipt for a noose, and they also found bleach. Now, the 2 brothers have not been charged with anything. They were actually let go of, and now they want to bring Smollett in for further questioning. Now, this is fucking wild, and it's also not surprising to some people, because some people felt like this story was full of shit, made up and fabricated to begin with. But, however, I'm not going to jump that far, even though it's very easy to. Everything is looking like this whole thing is a fucking hoax. But I want to say this to that. These two brothers knowing Jussie Smollett in and of itself does not make Smollett guilty, as the brothers are claiming that he is in fabricating this whole event. These brothers are Nigerian, and maybe there are some people who are going to be pressed about what I'm about to say next. I don't really give a damn, because facts are really facts. Africans and Nigerians are known for their homophobia. As I stated in my initial video regarding hate crimes committed against LGBT persons, over in Africa and certain parts of Africa, homosexual men and women and trans people are being set on fire and murdered Old Testament style as a result of their sexual orientation and gender fucking identity. I would not be surprised if these two Nigerian men who have citizenship in America, who get work, who are getting fame on American soil, still have homophobic motherfucking beliefs. And because they don't like the fact that homosexuality is such a visibility, and it is something that is becoming so mainstream, which might be very different than the way that homosexuality is perceived and dealt with in their native fucking country, would have some silent vendetta to rough Jussie Smollett up if they ever catch that nigga slipping. Now, because they worked with Jussie Smollett, they were hired by Jussie Smollett, they're Nigerians. We know that Africans in this country do not turn down the opportunity to make motherfucking money. Asians and Africans who come over here, they're looking for the come up. They get their educations, they get their fucking jobs, they become the doctors, the lawyers. We know that Africans a lot of times occupy the taxi cab industry, and we know that Africa has been heavily colonized with religious dogma. Homophobia is very compartmentalized. It is very, very possible that a homophobe will work a job, will work alongside gays, and still get off that bus after sitting next to your gay ass on that bus and follow your ass home and kill you, or follow your ass behind a building and assault you. I think that we have to get over these images in our heads of racists and homophobes as being blatantly racist. Like, the only racist that exists is not the white person who will outwardly call you a nigga. Racist person is also the covert racist coworker who is pleasant and kind in your face. Hi Derek, how are you? And then low-key plotting your demise to get you fucking fired and scheming to get your ass evicted out of the apartment complex. These covert homophobes and racists fucking exist. So, just because Jussie Smollett knows these guys personally, don't necessarily mean it is a hoax, and it don't mean that it ain't a hoax, and it can also mean that it's an inside fucking job. It's an inside job. That theory also has been going on around this case even before these guys came into question. Now, my question is, how the fuck did police identify these two Nigerian men as the suspects? Because these guys took a flight to Nigeria right after this attack. And based upon the photo stills that they put out to the public, in terms of helping them to identify the suspects, you can't see shit in those photos. It's just two men on the sidewalk, hooded and clothed in darkness. So how in the fuck did investigators identify these two men? Jussie Smollett said that he didn't know the nationality of the men. He could not even tell you anything other than their stature and what they were wearing because they had on masks. So unless there were images that the police did not make public that they used, I don't understand how the fuck they were able to take the images that they put out to the public, you know, for questioning and identify those men through that fucking imagery. But nonetheless, these men were the men in the images. I'm just curious to know how the fuck did police put those two and two together. Now, mind you as well, people might be saying, well, why would the Nigerian men be lying? You know, they know Jussie Smollett. We know that they're connected to Jussie, that they've worked with Jussie. So why would they lie? That depends on what context you're looking at the situation through. If you are still giving Jussie Smollett the benefit of a doubt, and you are entertaining the idea that this could be an inside job, then these men, just like the rest of us, have had access to social media. And I'm sure they have been listening to the blogs and to YouTube videos, and they have heard all of the conspiracies and theories around what could be going on. Jussie lying and staging this has been something that has been said since day one of the story coming out, because it just didn't sound right to people. If I were these two Nigerian men and this was an inside job, Jussie don't have nothing to do with it, me and my brother just wanted to fuck this faggot nigga up, and now it looked like there could be a case against our ass because we've been identified as the suspects in the footage, I would take the most believable theory that's out there right now and say that that's the case. Oh, they're saying that Jussie Smollett lied. Dude, let's tell the fucking investigators that he's complicit with the crime, that he actually helped stage this shit, because that's already something that's out there anyway. That's already something that's making sense to people anyway. So this is the perfect lie and the perfect theory for these criminals to be able to hide behind, if indeed they are guilty, which is why I said initially, I'm not going to read Jussie Smollett as of yet, because this is still an investigation. And even though the story keeps getting juicy and the plot keeps motherfucking thickening, there's still a lot of ways in which this shit could fucking go. And either Jussie Smollett was complicit or he was not complicit, but it is not proven as of yet. Just because Jussie knows these men, that he is being complicit and that he is in on this. That's just something to keep in mind. Jussie Smollett, let me get back to your ass. This is exactly why you should have been fully cooperative with fucking police from the jump. You should have gave them permission to pull your phone records. You should have, against your own personal reservations, just given your phone over for a few hours to the tech so that they could do what they needed to do, because you very well might have already had evidence right in your phone that could have already put a lot of the shit that's coming against you to rest. Had you been fully compliant, had you been fully willing to be cooperative with police, not according to your version of what it means to be cooperative, but be cooperative according to investigator standards of what it means to be fully fucking cooperative. So now you're gonna have to do a lot of backpedaling and pussy popping and a lot of redacting and re-explaining and all of this shit just to get back to what indeed may be the fucking truth. But this story is getting so fucking far ahead of you and so fucking far out of the goddamn lane that it's just going to look crazy now for you to have to do all this cartwheeling and backflipping just to get back to what's fucking real. Jussie, it's just time to be fully fucking compliant. And my whole thing is, if you didn't want the police involved and you wanted to handle this case and you had your own personal preferences and senses of privacy, you just should have launched your own personal investigation, and then you could have played by your own rules and nobody would have been able to say shit, because you didn't put this into the law's hand. You took this into your own hands and got your own private detectives on it and got your own lawyers on it without involving the police. But you got the police involved and you're being half-assed and very partial in cooperating with the fucking law, and now that's working against you rather than working for you. I would waste no time backpedaling and pussy popping. This would be the time to pussy pop. This would be the time to start moonwalking, because if you don't stand all the way up in this shit and just give over everything that can be given over and show and reveal and expose everything that can be exposed in order to prove your line of events to be true and correct, you might take one of the biggest, most humiliating, embarrassing L's that there is to fucking take. And the gag is, you might actually be fucking innocent, but you're making it all too easy for you to be falsely accused of being complicit with a hate crime that was actually genuine and authentic. Now look, I've heard all of the goddamn conspiracies around why Jussie ass might be doing this as a hoax. Supposedly he was being written off of Empire Fox News has came forward and said that no way in any shape is true, that Jussie is one of the most central figures on Empire, and that essentially his ass was never going anywhere, at least not anytime fucking soon. What I do find a little speculative is despite that Jussie being hurt, battered, and bruised, and this very scary thing happening to him, that 6 days later he got up and did a whole live performance. Very weird. Now, it could be that Jussie decided that he was going to keep his performance because he's a hero, he's not a quitter, and that he wasn't going to let something like this get the best of him. And or it could have been a part of the hoax situation. The truth and reality is, how long can one sustain being a character on a show like Empire, whose ratings are already dropping? They went from 40-30 million initially to now only generating 6 to 7 million views. And for a C-list actor like Jussie Smollett, Empire would have definitely been a predominant bread and butter for him. And with him being able to see that the show is probably on its way to wrapping itself up, he would need to amplify another motherfucking hustle. And since he is a musician, orchestrating a publicity stunt of this magnitude and then going and performing 6 days later because he knew that the viewers for that fucking performance would be wide and broad, because everybody would want to see what Jussie Smollett feels like, what is he saying, what does he look like after this horrific crime and after this horrific assault. There would be an expanded viewing audience to further be exposed to his music, and it would be the proper time to generate a lot of sympathy and support to solidify the side hustle maybe as more of a main hustle. All of it can make sense, and that's what I find so fucking crazy about this whole Jussie Smollett situation, is that if you look at it from Jussie being a victim, you can very well legitimize this whole thing and argue that point validly. If you look at it as Jussie is full of shit, this is a publicity stunt for all the reasons said that this is a publicity stunt, that argument could be validly argued too. But the reason why I'm going to wholeheartedly just wait until the investigation wraps itself all the way up is because Jussie Smollett does deserve the benefit of a doubt. Jussie Smollett does not have a history of being in controversy. He has lived a pretty clean life. He's had a pretty solid acting career. He's been a positive contributor to the community. He's used his platform for advocacy. And because he's not a Black China, because he's not a Rob Kardashian, because he's not a Kanye West, I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt, because when a person doesn't have a history of selling their soul, when a person doesn't have a history of always being in some shit, and some shit happens, that person does deserve at least the benefit of a doubt, despite what things may be looking like in the moment. So, for the sake of the character and the integrity that he has shown us this far, I'm going to let that be what it is. And I'm going to let Jussie ultimately be innocent until proven guilty. Mind you, if he's proven guilty and the facts pan out to support guilt, oh, the reading, baby. The reading that I have stored up for you, Jussie, it would be enough for you to just literally go into hiding for the remainder of your life. This whole Jussie Smollett looking for dick thing really fucking bothered me, because a lot of that rhetoric is coming directly from our community, and I find it to be really fucking interesting and hypocritical that it's coming from the LGBT community, that Jussie was basically out being a fucking hoe, because we are the same community who complains about heterosexuals constantly sexualizing us. And we see in all communities, especially the Black community and the Black LGBT community, that there's always this like victim blaming that fucking happens. Like, if a woman is raped, then she had to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. She had to be wearing something provocative. She had to be doing something provocative to incite sexual abuse. And Jussie completely read all y'all hoes for filth when he said, why the fuck else would Subway be open 24 hours unless motherfuckers were utilizing Subway 24 hours out of the motherfucking day? Period. The fact that he got a fucking sandwich. Who gets a sandwich to go get fucked in the ass? And tuna and bottoming don't work well together, bitch. For anybody who knows anything about gay sex, same-sex sex, girl, tuna and bread and anal penetration do not complement one another. So I don't know why people are just so gun-ho on literally pushing and pushing and pushing this hypersexualized narrative of Jussie. I think it's disgusting. It's problematic, and I'm just really surprised because you have also trans women who are saying that shit, and trans women, mind you, have a big motherfucking issue when people are saying that they get killed for not telling a nigga that they're really trans. When the public then goes and blames the trans woman for being assaulted and blames the trans woman for being murdered and adds in all of this shit that doesn't have a context. There's no evidence to support that the trans women didn't tell her identity, and yet that's still a narrative that hating ass, low vibrating ass bitches want to run with. But then yet the same people turn around and do this to other minorities and do this to other members of their community. If you want to say that Jussie is a liar, then just say Jussie is a liar, and that's the way that it fucking looks. But to add all this, he's a hoe and he's being promiscuous and he's looking for dick, according to who, what, and where? Like, where do you get this shit from, and why are you saying it? Like, why are you saying it? Why are you saying it? There's more evidence to support the other theories than they are to support the fact that he's out there looking for dick. That's like the least supported. There's less reasonable reason to believe that than some of the other conspiracies, like him trying to preserve his fucking role on Empire, or him trying to solidify another career for himself, because that one is coming to a goddamn end. But him out looking for dick, that means something to some of y'all. But maybe that's another video for another motherfucking day. You guys did ask me to speak on the Steve Harvey Monique situation. I got a Hot Topics video. I'm going to be roasting the dog shit out of Ariana Grande, out of Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, BET, Steve Harvey. I'm going to include all of those things in my Hot Topics video. You guys make sure that you rate, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. My PayPal link as well as my Cash App information will be at the bottom of the screen, as well as in the description box below. Thank you guys for all the support, and I will see you in my next upload. Bye.